In the bustling world of technology and connectivity, one trend stands out, gaining momentum and making waves in the fabric of modern communication. This trend, my dear listeners, is none other than podcasting.
Don't gamble, kids. That social media platforms will be banned for all kids under the age of 14. Please know how to write. Twitter trolls don't know how to write.
If anything you do in life, you should get better at it.
This could be bad. Like, if it's a full house, I'm fucked.
Hey guys, welcome back to Just Yakkin. Thank you so much for tuning back in today. It's the usual Justin here.
Is this the norm?
This is
set as the standard.
This is the set standard.
Yeah, this is the set standard finally. We're not doing any podcasts without anybody. Everybody's here this time. On schedule. No gambling addictions.
Don't gamble, kids. It's not worth it.
Unless
Even
your name is Rob Coco.
It was worth it for me, but normally you don't win money unless you're me.
The night before he lost money, so he was very, very upset about it.
I did not lose money, actually. I haven't lost money in a month, but still, don't gamble.
But I'm Jared.
I'm Rob. And who's with us today?
Oh, it's Kapil.
Oh, it's Kapil.
Yeah, we got our background, man. Thank you so much, Kapil, again. I'll never stop saying thank you. While you guys are here, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And let us know in the comments below what you guys want us to do, because you guys dictate what we're going to do, like what people we're going to bring on and what energy you guys want to see more of. And just let us know, because we just reached 50 subscribers and it's our third video. So I think a round of applause.
Well, this is our fourth. We've posted 2.
Yeah, we posted 2.
Filmed 1. This is episode 4.
Yeah.
We have not posted the third video yet before filming this, so we don't know the reaction to that, but that we had, I was out gambling, but we had Jake and Kapil on for the first time, which was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
it felt like a real guest podcast. Like, for the first time, like, it all just fell like into each other.
The
and it was
nerves,
like, perfect.
Yeah, the nerves are gone. We're back. We know what we're doing now. It's standard, you know?
Yeah, and I was literally sitting there, and as we were all setting up, I was just like how long it usually takes me to set up this has actually gone down so much. Like, compared to the first episode, it took us like almost an hour and a half to actually like set up before. And then this time it was getting up there, but it was like 35, 40 minutes. But it's a lot better than an hour and a half.
Can I just say, to start off our video, maybe this could be a good hook. You happen to say that is crazy a lot in the second episode, and Jared pointed that out. Have you reformed? Have you found other words to say other than that's crazy, man?
So the thing that I've noticed is, because I go back through and listen to these podcasts, I don't sit there and once they're published, I don't like look at them ever. I don't like how I sound ever, but
that's normal.
That's normal. People don't like how they look on film. That's just like the casual. Like that's always going to be there. But I have reformed, and I have
went back. Set of lingo?
Yeah, and I'm trying to change my vocabulary, because I have been told before that I do have a kindergarten vocabulary from many people. And
kindergarten might be a stretch. That might be a stretch.
I'm very vulnerable to it, because like,
do you want cookie?
It's just like I want to become a better speaker. I someday I would like to do this. Just this, but the odds of that actually happening, it's very slim.
But it's good to public speak.
Yeah, and just
I feel like everyone should take a public speaking class in life, you know.
Yeah,
and that's interesting. I was thinking the other day about topics in school that are not taught that should be. Like, you should know how to pay your taxes before you reach college, right?
Yeah,
it should be a high school thing. You should learn some woodmanship or some sort of, I guess, creative art, you know, other than just a painting that turns people away if you're not a good painter. There's just a list of subjects I feel like that could be taught in schools that are not taught in many.
I'd say that should be a senior year class. A senior year class of basic life.
Or a junior year if there's too many senior year classes, because they do, there's a lot. I mean, it's different everywhere. New York's different than California. California's different than Pennsylvania. Florida's different than all three. You get the point. My question is, just in essence, if there was a way to require a certain number of these classes that are for real life situations, Like, don't get me wrong. I love taking math for 10 years and learn everything. And by the end, the pre-calc stuff, I remember every single thing in that. Oh, whew. If you quiz me, I'll get it. Like, that shouldn't, there should be a chance for someone that isn't going to go down that field of mathematics, or even, let's say, doesn't graduate college, doesn't want to go to college, wants to go into trade. They should get some prior experience in schools. We're supposed to teach people. Let's teach everyone. Let's not just teach people to know how to do math and read, and writing's important. Please know how to write. Twitter trolls don't know how to write.
Well, your parents set you into the world with like a great standard of like your parents are expected to do a lot for you. From like growing up, you're expected to like learn how they went through like that transition in life from high school to the work field to or either college, like one or the other. But without them supporting you, it's just like, or without them like being there and like giving you that advice, like who's there to teach you how to be an adult?
Something that you brought up that I thought was interesting is like senior classes and being taught certain things. And I know with my one government class of my senior year, he took half the second half of the year and he taught like things that were not taught in school. So he actually had us like,
What was it called? Because
like
I had something similar.
yeah,
I had
he didn't-
ethics. It was called.
Yeah, it kind of turned into an ethics.
It was
That's so
it was a
cool.
stock market type of
Yeah,
class.
he did. So what he ended up doing is he did a stock market simulation,
Yeah.
and then you also had a simulation where you were a job and you had to pay your bills and you had to pay them on time. And if you didn't pay them on time, it reflected your grade in the class.
That was AP government.
Yep.
I
And
remember the class. It was
it
cool.
it was basically your performance on if you were in debt, which I mean it was possible if you didn't pay it on time or
That was the whole point of the stock market
Yeah.
game. I did the same thing when I was in New York. We got government for the first part, and then transitioned into ethics. And basically, I had a friend of mine in the class, so we just bullshitted around and talked about the Rangers in the playoffs that year. But
Did they win?
they went far. They did not win. No. But it was kind of the talk of the town, right? And that point. Anyway, the class was centered around the stock market game, and for those of you that don't know the stock market game, it's pretty simple. You get a certain amount of funds or money to spend, and you can go and buy shares, and you can see how those shares go up and down over a certain period of time, right? The whole point, like you were saying, is you had to get profit. For us, we got a certain letter grade based on a certain amount. We were required to buy certain stocks, and then we were required to buy stock that we could. There was like a requirement, like you can see this have an uptick of a certain percentage, or they're just guaranteed to make a small amount of profit. But you got a letter grade based on your profit, and I think we got a B plus.
You want to know something funny? So I knew a bunch of people that ended up buying a bunch of Twitter stocks, and my senior year was the year of 2023. And the thing that was funny about that is they were like first in the class because they didn't buy a whole lot of Twitter stocks. They bought, at the time, I forget exact stocks, but they bought energy stocks, and they were blowing up. And then all of a sudden, when Twitter became a private company, the stock, like everybody got paid their money back in real life, but the simulation didn't see it as that because it was following real-time stocks. So all their money that they invested just is gone. So like half the class basically lost points. The teacher didn't lower their grade, but like it was funny because they lost all their money that they put into the Twitter stock that became a private company. So I when you were saying something like that, I thought you'd find it funny because
Yeah. But again, a class like that is so important to have, to know how to do that, because that's important later in life, and not necessarily can be taught those things. Some people don't have parents or guardians even to teach them those things.
So, have either of you guys invested in stocks? Like invested in stocks? I'm not saying gambling, so to say.
Like
I mean,
real
stocks,
life?
Yeah, to a point of like, 'cause
Can
I
you-
have yet to do that, but you can. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's 2021, right?
No,
Or
I think
you
it's
could do
or
it.
it's
No,
18,
you can
yeah.
do it. You can do it.
yeah, I mean, I just don't have the money to invest in it at this
I personally don't, but
because you only really make profit if you have a whole lot. Like it goes up percentage based.
yeah, it's supposed
and
to
it's like
also be
yeah,
something that it's money that you're not in need of.
Yeah.
Like money that you can just have sitting there for a while.
comfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Would you ever get into it?
they're a very risky game because if you don't know what you're doing, you're definitely gonna lose money. But I've seen a bunch of videos. It's like a successful stock market trader. They're like lose again, lose, and then it just shows like their end thing of like where they're at now, and it's just like they blew up because they just figured it out. Like,
That's all subjective and like,
well,
oh,
true,
I hit on a spot,
but also
a stock here, but I lost on a stock here.
also
It's hard to track.
with anything you do in life, you get better at it. So if you never do it and you do it like once or twice, and you're like, oh, this is bad. Like I'm just gonna like be out money the rest of my life because of this. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
You're
Is how I
promoting
see it.
gambling, basically.
To a point.
So,
but
kids, what did we learn? Let's play poker. Hold'em.
No, do not play poker. Rob knows this, Jared knows this, I know this, but I don't know if you guys know this. The casinos actually have it set up so the more time you go in there, like you will come out losing more than you are winning. I think that's like a universal fact that everybody knows.
I mean, it's
But-
designed that
yeah.
way. It's not necessarily a fact.
Yeah, and I don't think
Depending
people
on what you play. If you're playing slots, that's
Yeah.
the case. If you're playing craps, it's a different case. You know,
Yeah.
you can get really lucky some nights.
Mhm.
Other nights you don't. Gambling, in essence, is something that should only be done a couple times a year max.
that's
if
even
that-
if you should do it, you know what I mean?
If it's right for you, it might not be right for you if you're not in the financial situation to be gambling.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
He's like, I already have student loans. What else could hurt me?
no, it's not even that. It's just
He's
when
at
you
a point.
win, makes it a lot easier to say, "Oh, I just won $45 here. Take 20 next week for my buy-in." It's
so
possible.
with your big win, how was the adrenaline rush off that? Because I know it's huge. Like you were talking like it was
He's
like
like Mr.
Christmas Day. You were saying
He's
You're
like
just
Mr. Krabs coming out of there. Money,
Dude.
money, money, money.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. I might have shared this in the third episode, but I'll share again if anything. There was a hand right before where there was a guy that was really drunk who threw most of his chips in, all in, and lost. So he lost most of his stack.
Damn.
So the next hand, or the second hand after, I get ace 10. Now, I had thrown away every hand, I got. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is great. I'll play a hand. Well, little did I know, and I figured out that the guy that won that huge pot just got 2 jacks in his hand, and a buddy of mine at the other side of the table got king queen.
How do you know that?
Because I'll explain.
afterwards. I'm guessing.
So we all bet. Flop came king, queen, 7 or something. All rainbow, so no flush. I'm like, this is great. I need a jack, and I hit the straight.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that would beat a straight is a full house, right? Everyone bet because the guy over there now has 2 pair. He has kings and queens. This guy still has jacks, and I have a gut shot straight draw. So I'm like, this is great. Next card comes a jack. So now everyone's got a part in this board. Guy has chips, 2 pair, and straight. So we started betting, and someone basically said, okay, you know what? We're just raising each other. I'm going all in. And it was for a $70 game. I was nervous. It was my decision. I'm like, this is...
Like just starting off the game, this was fourth
This could
turn
be
in.
bad. Like, if it's a full house, I'm fucked. Like, and I just bought in 4 hands ago. Like, 4 hands ago. At $70. So I called, and I was like, I'm really scared. And then the guy next to me called. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked. Oh, I don't have the best hand. Only to find out the guy had just hit trip jacks, and he had 2 pairs. So now it's like, okay, we're waiting the 5th card. There was probably $150 at least in the pot, right?
First hand?
Fourth,
Fourth.
5th,
Fourth? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
early
threw-
on.
he
No,
threw
very
like
okay,
his
early.
garbage
okay.
cards.
That's what I'm trying.
Within
sorry.
the first 10 minutes of the game. River comes, and it's just a nothing. It's a 9, so I win. And I get 70 from this guy, and I get all that other guy, the drunk guy that went all in. I get all his winnings basically. Later on, a couple hands later, I start playing again, and I hit trip fives, and guy had pocket aces, pocket rockets. So I'm betting a little bit. Flop comes out, everything comes out, and he's like, you know what? I've got aces. I'm gonna go all in. He decides to go all in, and I'm like, I don't want to go all. I don't want to do this, but I can't possibly fold. I'm like, I'm gonna lose money here. Whatever. You know what? Fuck it. And I showed, and the guy went nuts. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I lost the trips. I got all his money. Now I'm sitting there up 200. It's like easy money after that. You can just bully people in the pot. Just be like, all in.
And then they're sitting there with
Just
like $30, and they're just like,
they're like,
damn, I'm gonna be out 100 here shortly.
If I do this and he really does have a good hand, which I was only playing good hands up until that point, I'm fucked. I'll have to rebuy. I don't want to do that. I just want to play with my 30. So they'll fold. And they probably fold the best hands. That's the whole point. You know, you want to accumulate wealth at the poker table to bully people out of the pot, but you don't want to do it often enough that people realize and they call you and you lose your wealth.
This is true poker etiquette.
That's just
being
poker
taught.
for you.
Yeah.
So would you say you mastered your craft? Because
No.
you've been
No,
working at it for a while.
No. I am
Not even close.
I am no, not even close. I'm not even like a top 2 million player in the world.
Oh, I'm not saying in the world. I'm just saying like
in the US, like I'm saying like I'm not master of my craft. I still have a lot of mistakes I do. I go in too much. Sometimes it's a little obvious when I have a good hand. It's just because, you know, that's the way it is sometimes.
You got to read the table.
yeah.
So
And every game's like reading the table. Like you got to know.
You have to know who you're playing with.
Yeah.
It's a different game when you're playing with people you've repeatedly played with and people you've never played with before. I am by no means a good poker player. I've just hit a string of good luck, good cards, and also some built-up skill that I've developed in reading people, in knowing when I have a good hand and figuring out when they have a good hand. But, you know, that stuff. But still not a good poker player.
wow. I mean, you're doing really good for yourself, though. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear. Like
It's
when
been
I
a
found
good
out for you, I
month.
was
I said I won probably $500 in the last since February, end of February, I should say, in
That's
March
huge.
alone. It's been a good month. Obviously, the 300 this past weekend was huge, but I had not been down money in a while. I was repeatedly winning $60, $78 profit, so I'm lucky. I'm really lucky.
So we had an argument about this earlier. You, me, and Jake outside on the back porch, your room, necessarily. But what went down was we were talking about skill based. Is it skill based or luck based? And I argued like there's a lot of luck in poker, and you or Jake like nah.
No,
like,
that's all skill.
like he just said
there's-
that he just said he's been lucky. I see where
you
you're
get
coming
lucky.
from.
You get lucky in the cards, but you also have to play the best. You know, you have to play your cards right. You have to extract someone for the most amount of money possible, or realize when you're getting extracted for the most amount of money, right? It's all skill. You got to know how people bet. You got to know how much to bet. You know, and it changes throughout the game, throughout the players, throughout who you're playing with, what the buy-in is. You need to know those things. Those are all skill. The only luck is getting
The luck
the
of the
cards
draw.
you get. Yeah, getting the cards you get and the flop coming, and you end up having the best pair. You skill your way by bluffing or betting enough that people don't. You know, that there is some luck, but it's not all luck. It is mostly skill. 99% skill.
No, I'd agree with you of saying that. Like I'm the type of person who's like, oh, everything's luck. Jared and I have had this conversation, but no, with poker, obviously my opinion has changed on some things, but not everything. But no, with poker, like you gotta read the room. Like I said earlier, like you go in there and like if they know what your hand is, that's a problem. Like if they can read you easily, which
They can put you on a hand, then yeah.
yeah. And it's just like at that, like the cards are luck, what you get, like you guys were saying. But if you aren't a noticeable person and they don't really realize what your hand is, that's where the skill comes in. And then knowing when to go out, when to go in.
There's a certain amount to be said that people that play poker know how to read people, and it's true. Again, in the right circumstances, you can read your friends, but you have to be able to read people you haven't played much with. And that's where the real good poker players really excel. Like some of the best poker players in the world are excellent readers at figuring out what their opponent has, and they're famous for that reason. You know, and they've made a lot of money. They've won a lot of tournaments in poker. And I was talking to my dad about this recently. Poker kind of had a rebirth in the 21st century with all of this publicized poker, you know, all these bigger games, these names in poker. If you ask someone that plays poker once a week, can you name like 3 of the best poker players of all time? They can probably do that. You ask a random person on the street, can you name a poker player that's professional? And they couldn't tell you. More likely than not. Like, could either one of you name? Exactly, right? But that's because it's not a well-known thing. But those who are, I guess, in that poker circle or play poker a lot and know about it, they'll tell you it like sports athletes, like a sports fan would tell you sports athletes.
No, the only person that I actually do know, I don't recall his name, but I know of him, was a person who actually has been banned at casinos. You probably know him. No, never. I've seen him
Banned
on
at casinos?
Yes, he's banned at every casino. I don't know his
This
name.
is something that Justin found while he was chronically online.
Yeah, no, like the
I think I might have saw this too.
yeah.
Though. I
No, the
saw
guy,
something about this.
He
Wouldn't that be
basically
ironic?
I will put the I'll put the name of the person right there. Right there.
bro.
You're gonna
Also,
find it out.
Yeah, no, because I know the name. I just can't think of it offhand. But to give like a little brief overview of it, it was like he basically found out like the trick to it. At least that's what he said. And he would go in a lot of times, and he admitted he's like, "Hey, I was down a whole lot," but he's like, he ended up winning millions from the casino.
33 million, I believe.
Yeah, and like they
Like
give
he
him
walked
and
out
you know
like going from casino to casino in his area, just like he'd win $1 million here, go to the next one, win 2 million, and it was all within the same day. Like I'm pretty sure he said
Yeah.
he like racked up 7 million in one day.
yeah, and
Like
these all
imagine.
this could all be like the numbers might not be correct, but like the
It's
story
something like
itself, this what?
It's something like
Yeah, but the story itself is true. I'm just like making that.
Yeah.
But like it was getting to the point where like the casinos were giving him like private jets trying to get him to come back because they were trying to get him to lose even harder, but he kept winning even more. And it's just like, and he actually donates money to people who have, they call it, I don't know if it's considered like a disease or an illness, that like gambling, like a gambling addict. He has an
gambling
organization.
addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually donates to that organization to
That's
give
good.
them money. And I was like, wow, like
I
I mean,
might know who this is if it's a famous player or something, but
Yeah.
if it's just a random guy that did this, then
but no, he is banned at almost all the casinos. So I mean, just to add on to that little bit, I mean, it's just gambling's not good. Don't get into it. I've personally never done it because I don't have money to comfortably give up, and especially after this, I don't have money to give up.
I would say
Jared either.
if you
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
just kinda
learn
floating.
if you want to learn how to play poker, if you want to play poker, the best way to do so is learn online, or there's a lot of apps you can use. Learn the basics, play amongst your friends in low stakes games, nothing too crazy. Don't gamble away money you don't have. You know.
Listen to
is-
that.
It should
Very,
be money that
very
you're willing to
important.
throw
Yeah.
away. Money
And
that
it's
is
just
like
like-
not that.
And if
needed.
your friends or whoever you're playing with is saying no, you have to buy in for this amount, don't play. Simple. Either buy in for what you want or don't play. Don't cave to people. Stick your ground because your money is important. Don't let other people try to make you give it away, basically.
So on the topic of gambling, I want to get into adrenaline. So from like the rush you get from winning, you get that addiction. I used to be addicted to adrenaline, like from skiing to other hobbies, facets in life that I just found like well, I want to go skydiving really bad because I just feel like that would just be a really cool experience. But like since I've been in college, that's like dwindled down for me. Like I haven't been seeking adrenaline in a long time. But you get that in poker.
Yeah,
mean-
yeah. You get that feeling, that pit in your stomach, and sometimes it's a good feeling, sometimes it's a bad feeling. You know, it depends on what happens, but definitely when you have good cards and especially when it's a lot of bets, your heart races. I experienced that multiple times.
Yeah, doing anything that involves risk, I'd say,
Yeah,
kind of like
it's
embodies
natural.
that feeling.
It's natural to have that feeling, I guess.
If anyone's interested in a show, by the way, because you were talking about gambling, there's a show on Netflix. It's called like I Keurig or like something along the lines of that. And it's a show where they literally go to a high school that's all based around gambling, and the student government runs the school. And it's all based like oh,
It'll
you have
be
to
in the
gamble for your
description down
spot.
below.
It is so cool. And I sat there and I was like, this is one of the best shows. And then it just stopped. Like there's no season 2. And there was so much potential. It's just like they didn't have the funds or something, the artists. I don't know. But really interesting.
Thank you to today's sponsor, bookvacay.com. If you guys want to get away and be somewhere where it's a lot sunnier and nicer than where we are at, then definitely check it out. It'll be in the description below. You can go to the Bahamas, to Florida, to Italy. You can go anywhere. You
Can I go to Aruba?
You can go to Aruba if you
All right,
want.
we're good. We're good.
And you guys can get deals on planes, tickets, cruises, hotels. Just make sure you click the link in the description, bookvacay.com. I'm looking at you. Bookvacay.com right now.
Don't make me come beat you with a bet.
And I just want to let you know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, always. So,
Strumming my
so
six
just
string.
remember,
I'm up from
you
Port
can go anywhere,
Swing.
anytime.
Smell of
Alright.
shrimp hair, they're beginning to boil.
That gets
Wasted
copyrighted.
away again in my... All right.
Again, thank you
Imagine
to
that
today's
gets
sponsor.
copyrighted.
Yeah,
And
you copyright. They're like, you were singing Margaritaville. Fuck.
again, thank you to today's sponsor, and we'll get back to the video. So something that I was brought aware of is something that Rob told me. It's this thing with DeSantis in Florida. If you want to...
So basically, Ron DeSantis announced today that social media platforms will be banned for all kids under the age of 14. Now, this law comes with a lot of people on both sides arguing for and against this. Obviously, the for is very simple. There have been a lot of suicide-related deaths linked to social media abuse, especially in the state of Florida, that he is trying to prevent, which is the exact reason why he did sign this into legislature. However, the opposite side of this is that it should be the parents' choice to give this freedom to their kids, and it should not be reliant on the government and the state. So, what do you guys think about it? Do you think your parents should have the rights to tell you when you can get social media, or do you think a law or the government should tell you?
For them to be able to like silence, or not silence, but like prohibit all kids under the age of 14 from using Snapchat, Instagram. Like the age restriction will come up like, are you above the age of 14 to use this app? You're going to be like, yeah, I'm 14, like I'm above 14. So I don't know how they're going to prohibit it to that point. So even if the state does get involved, like how
To what extent are they
Sufficient.
going to prohibit
Yeah,
it?
how's
Yeah,
it
I'm
gonna
not
be?
sure. I can't comment on that.
but that is a
They
huge
haven't.
law.
Yeah, it's a very big step. It's controversial.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a very controversial state, and it's done by a controversial governor. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. Not to use the same word 4 times.
I
but-
only see this as good.
That's crazy.
And this might be controversial, but I only see doing something like that as good. And I know
Jared, you can't use
people...
the word crazy. That's Justin's word.
Yeah, that's my word, bro. Come on. That's crazy. No. So like something like that, I think it'll only bring good because like when you're driving at the age of 16, like you're in control. And I kind of see like social media in a sense of like you're in control. Like you could look up anything. Like
Yeah.
your parents could put controls on it, but do they? Most likely not. I don't think out of the entire American population, I wouldn't even say over half the American population is putting parental controls on their kids' thing. Like I was very fortunate to have a phone when I was in 7th grade. Like, and that's very powerful. Like I was able to look up anything on the internet. Well, my parents advised me, like they talked to me. They're like, hey, like this is what my expectations are. Like they gave us like a list of like what they want and what they don't want. And I always listened to them because I was very fortunate in my upbringing. They always were considerate. But like in a place like Florida, like they're 13-year-old people, like 14, right?
Well, it's under 14.
Okay. Like they're not even adults. I mean, we're not even adults technically, but to the government we are. But it's just like so many people, a lot, like if you look at the rates of suicide and the depression rates because of these social media like factors that play in, like these women like, these young girls see these grown women who have done all these things to their body and who like are doing all this and they're like, well, I'm not good enough. And guys are doing it too, like when like seeing gym experts. It's just like social media, yeah, it's good to like get stuff out there like this, but it could be misused in so many ways. Like I could tell you so many instances in my high school where this was a problem. Like social media was definitely a problem. It was a problem in bullying, fighting, like everything. Like a lot of like hateful things were said on it. I don't think a lot of good things came out of it except like reaching out to people. And I mean, like Jared said, if there's like, oh, are you above the certain age? Of course you're just gonna put yeah, because it's just like,
It's easy to.
yeah, it's easy to. It's there. They give you the option.
They're gonna ask for like your ID. You're gonna have to scan like a ID that's issued by the state of what's it called? Florida.
Yeah.
Imagine. Welcome back. Camera had a little camera issue. It overheated. It's a little warm today. It's actually getting warmer. It's the first day of spring.
We're gonna be getting an AC in here.
Actually,
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
we're gonna get like one of those quieter ACs, the ones that actually you put in the window, and it's like a unit, and then you can kind of like control the loudness from the inside, and you don't have to like move it out of the window. It's like one of the rollers.
When I was a kid, we didn't have that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had to use.
Back in the 60s. But we were talking about social media use for people that are younger.
So what I was curious about, how much, like, because social media impacted all of us in all different ways. Like, there's like everybody's own experience with it has drastically changed who they are from like not having it to having it. So how big of an impact has like posting online, seeing other people post, like how has that affected you? Because that's what
Go ahead,
social
Justin.
media is. It's your social profile.
I don't.
Like a digital
It's like-
footprint.
It not necessarily that, but yes, but it's just like the best way you want to portray yourself for others to see you. Because like it was meeting in person before that.
Yeah.
So now it's like your digital, like online, like it's kind of like a fake account, because not a fake account, but it's like a fake persona of you.
Well,
It's like the best version of you.
Well, I think in reality, like when you go out in public, like when you're talking to people, unless like they're your closest friends, like people don't see your, like you always have a filter. Like Rob has a filter with us compared to like his better friends. Like
Filter?
yeah, like everybody has a filter. I agree. Like I think that no matter like where you are, there's like a social filter, there's an at-home filter, there's a family filter. Like you change to your environment, and like of course like
Yes.
us doing this podcast, we're putting ourselves out there and at risk to like people hating this, people like looking at us or taking bits of what we say.
Job
and
interviews.
yeah, like
to
we're putting our
future life.
like if we say
investments,
something
this,
really
that.
controversial and like we publish it and
It's
it doesn't,
opinionated.
yeah, it's opinionated.
Would you like to throw out your disclaimer, by the way, for last episode? Because you said you wanted to mention this.
I just want to mention that the topics that were discovered,
Discussed.
discussed in episode 2 were opinionated. They are not fact. They are people arguing about a controversial topic. They are not meant to be taken as use in any argument or fact and taken out of statement. If in the future you would like to know more on the topic, please search up on the topic and inform yourself at your own risk. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Rob, for just being vulnerable and like putting yourself out
good.
there.
Your own
because-
opinion.
It's the
Yeah.
whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting myself out there, but at the same time, there's a level of trust and like, well, you're not saying anything too bad. It's more opinions, and I'm not out here advocating for anything. I'm not advocating for anyone to listen to me. You clicked on the video.
He's basically saying thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Or I'm saying you clicked on the video. But thank you so much for
Rob, give him the
liking-
pointer.
liking,
Tell him where the like
subscribe.
button will be.
You get to decide today.
Yeah, you get to decide today. You want it on yourself?
Right over Jared. Just completely right here in front of Jared.
Like, subscribe, and hit the notifications.
Yeah.
And you get that little bell sound, the ding.
So before we wrap, I want to introduce something. It's our feel good story of the week, or whatever.
Okay, let's hear it.
If in the future going forward, I would like to end with some lighthearted stories, because topics that we discuss on this podcast could and most likely will include details that you could find disturbing. So we would like to end off with something that no one will find disturbing, and a nice good story. So how about a feel good story or some positive happiness? I don't know. I would just like to say I wish everyone a happy and healthy last holiday of the holiday season, the 6-month holiday season, and enjoy Easter.
Yeah, make sure you guys sit down and be with your families. Make sure you appreciate it.
Appreciate the time you have with family. Like, there's like so much else you could be doing, but like sitting down with your family, being there with them,
Or
in that
watching
moment,
us on repeat. That is also
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah, you could
Do
show
it
your
with
family
your
this.
families.
With
Yeah,
your family.
yeah, with
Yep.
your family.
You're sitting at Easter dinner.
Voodoo.
Well,
All right.
we'll just end it on these two cameras.
Okay, ready? So,
Camera just died again, so
all right. Well,
Yeah,
let me just
back at
say
it with the camera.
my last thing. I'll look into this camera. All right, ready?
Stare it in the eyes.
I would like to just thank everyone that's tuned out and stayed and watched the entire video. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. And we hope that you guys like our content and you keep coming back. And we hope that in the future, you can reach out in the comments if you want to hear a certain topic being discussed. And we'll
Dang.
reach out and hopefully we'll put that together. So
yeah.
that's my sign off. Stay happy, stay healthy, enjoy Easter, and let's go Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't have a sports team, but I guess I'll support the Rangers with you.
Yeah, let's go
So,
Rangers.
best of luck for them, bro.
Woohoo!
And
Playoffs coming.
again, thank you guys for tuning
It's a
in,
big moment for
and
you.
thank you for the 50 of you that have stuck along for the ride. Really appreciate
Happy
you guys.
50 subscribers!
And all to all the new people.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming along.
thank you. So, see you guys. Peace out. See you next step.
Should it be like I have my 3 rules for robots now?
No, we're cutting.